Whoa. Well, all right, everyone, here we have it. We have all the new iPhones ready to go. We picked up 3 different ones, and I wanted to just do a quick unboxing, a little bit of a first impressions, and just to see exactly what it's like, right? So, of course, we picked up the Cosmic Orange 17 Pro Max, which you can see right here. We're gonna compare it nicely to the 16 Pro Max, which is here. I also got the silver version of the 17 Pro Max just to kind of see what the colors are. A little bit more of a tame color, of course. And then we also got the Air. This is the one that I'm most intrigued about because it's the newest one. It's something that we haven't seen before. So I'm excited to see what that's all about. And then of course, we reviewed the battery already, but we had to get the battery for the Air just to kind of see if it's gonna be worth it to add some additional battery life onto the Air. So let's quickly unbox these and see what the first impressions are. But before we do, consider subscribing to the channel because we have a ton more content coming down the pipeline, especially about this new iPhone Air, which I'm very intrigued about, but let's open these up now. All right, so let's get this iPhone out of the way. This is the tried and true 16 Pro Max, which again, in its own right, is an amazing phone, and a lot of people are just still gonna hold on to this, but I wanna open up the orange one first. We're gonna save the Air for the last one because I think this is gonna be probably the coolest one in my opinion. I don't see why anybody else wouldn't think this is the coolest one. Maybe not the most practical one, but we'll get there. And then also I brought over my Z Fold because we're gonna open this up and just see from a thinness standpoint how it compares to the Air. But let's move this off to the side and open up this beautiful orange phone. I saw it in person and it is very saturated, which is insane, right? Especially on the Pro models. With the Pro models, normally it's a lot more of a tame color, right? They're very subdued. They always go with like a black color, but wow, this thing is crazy. Look at that. You have the two-tone design, and then in terms of what stands out to me, whoa. This is heavy. This is a heavy phone. Compared to the titanium 16 Pro Max, the fact that they went back to, I think, aluminum or whatever it is. Again, I remember the 14 Pro Max being extremely heavy with those stainless steel sides and it being made out of aluminum. And now, of course, they went to titanium before to reduce the weight, but from a cooling standpoint, it ended up being worse. But this phone is, I'm not gonna say substantially heavier, but if you're holding them side by side, it is obviously heavier. And then from a thickness standpoint, it's pretty much the same overall. You can see that there's a little bit more of a protrusion, I guess, or a little bit more obvious for the camera control button. You can see that my titanium phone's already starting to scuff a little bit. I did get the black one, as you can see, but again, to each their own. And then because there's a new camera plateau, the camera bump is actually a little bit less so. So I mean, the physical cameras themselves are coming out a little bit less. But this is the color of the phone. I like the two-tone design. The one thing that's weird that I noticed at the Apple Store is that on the top here is going to be where the antenna is, and for some reason it just kind of looks out of place. It looks like something belongs there. Versus on the iPhone 16 Pro Max, I think it's on the antenna bands here, but hopefully this means we'll get better cell signal or just data connectivity overall. But that is going to be the 17 Pro Max in this new Cosmic Orange. And I still am up in the air in terms of what I'm gonna, daily drive. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna use this phone or if I'm gonna use the silver one or if I'm gonna use the Air because again, I think the Air is gonna be the most intriguing one. But this is gonna be the best thing that Apple has to offer. And just wow, I mean, compare it to the old phone. Very, very cool. So let's put this off to the side. Again, we're just unboxing these right now, getting our first impressions. In the box, of course, you still get the braided cables, and that's pretty much it. A little bit of paperwork. Let's open up now the silver one. So this is a silver one, 256, the 17 Pro Max. I actually think this is going to sell the most because, again, it's the most subdued one. The deep blue one might be the best seller for the, the normal average consumer, but I am hearing that it does scratch the most, right? It scratches the easiest. But let's open this up, and wow. This does look nice. It's very subdued, very easy to this is actually really, really nice. I like how it's like more of a white color and then transitions to a silver color. The Stormtrooper look of it all because you have the black cameras and the LiDAR scanner. And of course the front of it is gonna be black as well. The brush, I mean, it feels like a piece of jewelry. Like, look at this. Everything has kind of like this like matte finish to it. I love this color. And then in terms of what stands out to me, again, the camera bump stands out in terms of it's really not there anymore. The actual camera plateau is, I guess we're so used to it now with all the leaks and rumors that have been happening that it's not really surprising anymore. But that is going to be the silver one. Let's take this off. Of course, we got USB-C at the bottom. The speaker grills are finally symmetrical because if you look at the old one, they're actually not symmetrical. And it feels almost a little bit more rounded off. It looks like every year Apple's rounding the corners just a little bit more. I remember the 14 Pro Max was like pretty much just a 90-degree angle, a shelf, but this just feels a little nicer in the hand, a little bit smoother in the hand. I don't know, this orange color is also very, very cool. But let me know what you guys think in terms of the colors. Are you going with the orange? Are you going with silver? Deep blue? I saw the deep blue in person. It's nice, but I think one of these two is one that I'm going to go with. But now I really want to open this iPhone Air and see what that thing is all about. So let's put these here. Close this up. Okay, so here we have the iPhone Air in all of its glory, right? The box is actually a little bit thinner than the other one. So if I grab the other box over here, you can see that it is a smaller box, it is the thinnest box, and it's the only box that's actually showing the iPhone from the side profile instead of the front profile. And I believe I got it in the sky blue. Yes, I did. And the sky blue, again, this one is much more, or I guess less saturated, right? This is one of those colors that Apple really didn't do much with the colors. They didn't make them saturated. It's kind of just slightly sky blue probably when it hits the lighting at the right time, but let's open this up. Ooh, interesting. And this one's actually facing up instead of facing back. When we open these opened with the camera being shown, with the back of it being shown. This one, it's folded. That's new. Let's see in here. This looks a little bit different the way that they packaged it, but still the same USB-C braided cable. Nothing crazy. It's just packaged a tiny bit differently, but in terms of the contents, it's all the same. And then here is the phone. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is so lightweight. This is insane. Again, I guess it doesn't look too crazy on camera, but if I were to recommend one thing, go to an Apple store and just pick one of these up. This thing is gotta be half the weight. I'm gonna put the weight on the screen just so you guys know, but this thing is so lightweight. You know, the footprint is obviously a little bit smaller. I think we're dealing with a 6.5 or 6.6 inch display here. I think it's like 6.56 versus a 6.9 inch display here. But oh my goodness, it is about half the thickness of the main phone of the 16 Pro or 17 Pro Max phone. Here it is with my old 16 Pro Max, so thin. And I do love how, again, this is made out of titanium, but they brushed the edges to make it seem like it's stainless steel to give it that premium jewelry look. You do have the USB-C port, which is not symmetrical, so it's leaning a little bit to the back of the phone. Again, not a huge deal, not a lot of people are gonna notice it. You do have two speaker grills on each side, which are tiny, and then of course you have the speaker grill up top. You got the action button, the volume rocker. You have the rear plateau here with only the one camera sensor, the lock button, and they still fit camera control. I wonder if it's the camera control smaller or if it's the same exact size. It actually looks a little bit smaller to be able to fit the actual side of the phone, but this thing is so lightweight. I can see myself easily daily driving this thing. And then if I grab this, which is going to be Apple's battery case, it does just slap on like so. Slaps on pretty perfectly. It starts to charge it. It's probably going to turn on the phone. We're going to do the setup in a different video, but I just wanted to unbox them and get my first initial impressions because we didn't get them early, and we've been getting them at the same time that you guys did. So let me know in a comment down below what you think. What do you guys want to see? I've been, at this point, when you're watching this, I've been using these phones for a little bit now, and I definitely have some really good first impressions that I want to walk you guys through. But let me know in the comment down below what you think of these phones, the look of it, the aesthetic, the thinness of this iPhone Air. Is that something that you want to get into, or is it just kind of for show and a proof of concept? But the last thing I do want to compare it to is the thinness of the unfolded fold. So this is the Z Fold, and you can see that this is also ultra thin. And when I grab it and put it up against here, the folded portion or the open portion of the Z Fold is thinner. I believe it's only like 4 millimeters or 4.2 millimeters. This one is 5.6 millimeters, I believe. Leave a comment down below to correct me if I'm wrong, but it is super thin, which means I could see this being the precursor to a folding phone, which would be awesome in the iPhone world. But again, that'll do it. Let me know in the comment down below what you think. Worth the hype? Not worth the hype? Always curious to know. But if you made it to the end, leave a little dolphin. And if you want to watch more videos like this, click on one of these right here. And until next time, I'll see you soon. Peace.